Solo Leveling. Episode 1. I'm used to it. 3 years ago, a naval officer asked his captain why he was not participating in the current battle. The captain tells the officer that it is best to let the hunters deal with it. Next, take turns with a few low-rank hunters to fight an army of large ants. They are overwhelmed by the ants, but S-rank hunters come to their aid. Elsewhere, Guildmaster Choi and his men are fighting another army of ants. Here we learn more about the origin of this universe. 10 years ago, multiple gates appeared that connect the human world and another dimension. Behind each gate lurks strange creatures called magical beasts that are immune to normal human weapons. People with abilities that have been awakened to fight them, commonly known as hunters. They are ranked from S to E according to their magical power. Once a hunter's power is awakened, he cannot achieve greater strength. 3 years later, 2 men named Park and Kim found out about life. Kim wonders why Park is still participating in the raid, but Park says he wants to earn money to support his family. Suddenly, solo leveling protagonist Sung Jin-Woo arrives and Kim greets him. Kim tells Park that Sung is one of the weakest hunters ever, and that if Sung takes on the heist, it will probably be an easy one. San meets a fellow hunter named Joo-hee, and he is asked why he was deceived. Mr. Sung details his experience in the dungeons of his ranks. An S-rank hunter was also accompanying them, but there was no plan to bring a healer along. Joo-hee thinks it's an arbitrary decision by the S-class hunters, but Sun says he's used to being treated badly because he's weak. Joo-hee and Song participate in the attack by leader Song Chi-yul. After greeting their friends, Sun and the others pass through the gate. Elsewhere, a man greets Chairman Go and discusses how his meeting with the regime went. Go said administrators are concerned about dungeon breaking. However, they want the hunters to continue collecting valuable items in each dungeon. Go thinks this makes sense, considering that hunters make a living by selling the resources they find. He shows his friends the essence stones that he collected from the monsters that the hunters defeated. We shift to Sun's point of view. He finds it difficult to protect himself from the magical beasts in the dungeon. He says that Park will save Song and face off against other monsters in this dungeon. He asks Joo-hee to take care of Song. Returning to Go and his companions, we continue our discussion of essence stones. He says that essence stones can be turned into powerful weapons and equipment. Additionally, hunters may come across mana crystals that have similar uses, but they are less effective, Go says. Additionally, Go said the government wants to use these items for more efficient purposes. According to him, the government is working on ways to generate electricity using essence stones and mana crystals to create an ideal source of clean energy for the world. Meanwhile, Song and the other hunters are celebrating defeating the dungeon boss. Joo-hee, who watches over Sion, thinks that Sion should not continue living as a hunter and reminds him of the injury he sustained during the expedition. Sun apologizes and wishes he could have gotten more than an E-rank essence stone. Some hunters discover a cave, and he thinks it might be connected to another dungeon. Song suggests waiting to hear from the Hunter Association before tackling this second dungeon of his. However, since the perk is associated with a D-rank dungeon, I believe it should be safe. Song asks everyone to vote on whether to proceed or surrender. 6 hunters said yes and half said no, leaving the group's decision to Sun. Sun's family is in trouble for now, so they tell Sun to move on. Elsewhere, Agent and Choi are seen discussing issues concerning a B-rank hunter and 2 C-rank hunters. Choi is happy with this news and tells his agent to make an offer if he thinks it would be beneficial to him. However, he feels that these hunters are no match for Cha Hai-in, an S-rank hunter. After seeing Cha Hai-in stop the 2 thieves, we turn to Sung and the others as they head off to fight the boss of the second dungeon. Joo-hee is irritated by Sung's decision. Our hunters arrived at the dungeon boss's room and we began virtually greeting several newly awakened hunters. He tells the history of their world, from the gates to the dungeons behind them. Moreover, he knows that some people choose the path of a hunter, and some people do not choose the path of a hunter. He tells would-be hunters that it's best to tread carefully and be afraid to take part in raids. Sun, and the others entered the dungeon and noticed that it looked different from the dungeon they had previously conquered. Someone informs Song about an ancient scripture, and Song reads it line by line. Meanwhile, Juhi is wary of one of the statues in the dungeon. As soon as Mr. Song finishes reading the Bible verse, the front door closes. One of the hunters tries to escape, but is killed minutes later by one of the dungeon statues. Everyone is worried about the statue, including Song, who is worried about the statue that caught Juhi's attention. Sun reflects on his past dungeon raiding experiences with other hunters. He says other hunters have more experience than him. Despite his bad experiences in dungeons, Song said he developed a keen eye for detail when it comes to opportunities and dangerous scenarios. The statue fires lasers from its eyes and destroys some hunters. The episode then ends with Sun asking if he and his companions can escape from this place unscathed.